Imagine a world untouched by the drama of pursuit or the tension of the hunt. In the earliest chapters of Earth's history, the continents sprawled in silence, their surfaces sculpted by relentless winds and ancient rains. The only signs of life were the emerald patches of mosses and the delicate filaments of liverworts and hornworts, their forms hugging the stone, drawing sustenance from the thin, mineral-rich moisture that clung to the rocks. While the land was a realm of quiet persistence, the oceans were a theatre of ancient abundance. Beneath the surface, trilobites scuttled across the seafloor, their armoured bodies glinting in filtered sunlight. Sea scorpions or eurypterids prowled the shallows, while jawless fish glided through kelp forests, their movements orchestrated in a ballet of survival and adaptation. On land, the passage of time was marked by the slow, patient advance of green. Mosses crept outward, their rhizoids anchoring them to stone, absorbing every drop of dew. The air was crisp and thin, carrying only the faintest scent of minerals and wet earth. There was no sound but the whisper of wind and the gentle patter of rain, nourishing the earliest terrestrial pioneers. In this world of stillness, the first animals to brave the land were small, armoured arthropods. Their bodies, segmented and low to the ground, moved with deliberate caution. These early millipede-like creatures explored the mossy terrain, their antennae flicking through the air, sensing the unfamiliar textures and scents of a new frontier. Their existence was defined by the search for nourishment. They fed on decaying plant matter, breaking down the earliest detritus, and in doing so began the slow process of soil creation. Each bite, each movement contributed to the transformation of the land, turning sterile rock into the first fertile earth. The landscape was a sanctuary of peace. Arthropods wandered freely, unhurried and unafraid, their only companions the gentle growth of moss and the slow decay of fallen plant matter. Springtails bounced among the detritus, their tiny forms adding to the quiet bustle of this new ecosystem. Over generations, the actions of these detritivores enriched the soil, allowing more ambitious plants to take root. Club mosses and horsetails began to rise, their stems reaching for the pale sunlight, their roots weaving intricate networks beneath the surface. The land, once barren, became a living tapestry, each thread woven by the patient work of plants and the creatures that fed upon them. As the landscape changed, so too did the atmosphere. The earliest plants released oxygen, subtly altering the air and paving the way for future life. Shadows grew longer as plants reached higher, casting intricate patterns across the mossy ground. The world was evolving layer by layer in a symphony of growth and transformation. Yet beneath this tranquil surface, subtle changes hinted at a coming shift. The soil, now rich and dark, provided new opportunities. The undergrowth rustled with the faintest signs of movement, as if the land itself anticipated the arrival of something new, something that would forever alter the balance. The air grew thick with anticipation. The wind, once a gentle caress, now seemed to carry a warning. The plants swayed, their shadows flickering across the ground, as if bracing for the unknown. The stage was set for a new chapter in Earth's story. In this moment, the land held its breath. The creatures that had known only peace sensed a change in the air. A shadow passed overhead, fleeting but unmistakable, a harbinger of the challenges to come. In the shelter of moss and stone, new forms began to emerge. Predatory arthropods, their bodies built for speed and stealth, crept through the undergrowth. Their antennae quivered, tasting the air for the scent of prey, their presence a silent promise of upheaval. The innocence of the land was ending. Prey animals froze, their instincts awakening to the reality of danger. The balance that had nurtured peace was shifting, and every creature would soon be forced to adapt to a world where survival was no longer guaranteed. The first predators, with their sharp mandibles and swift movements, brought a new energy to the land. The age of tranquility faded, replaced by the relentless rhythm of pursuit and escape, a dynamic that would define life on Earth for eons to come. From this turning point, the land became a living stage for the unfolding drama of evolution. The story of life before land predators was one of quiet innovation and patient transformation, a foundation upon which the future would be built, forever changed by the arrival of the hunt. Over 400 million years ago, the Devonian period marked a turning point in Earth's history. For the first time, life surged beyond the watery cradle of the oceans, spilling onto the vast uncharted continents. The land, once barren and silent, became a tapestry of green. Giant ferns, club mosses, and horsetails stretching skyward, their fronds weaving a living canopy that filtered the golden sunlight into shifting patterns on the forest floor. In this humid, primeval world, the air shimmered with moisture, and every shadow concealed a new possibility. Among the first to seize this new frontier were the trigonotarbids, ancient arachnids, armoured in chitin and bristling with sensory hairs. Unlike their aquatic ancestors, these pioneers were built for the rigours of terrestrial life. Their exoskeletons locked in precious moisture, shielding them from the relentless evaporation of the open air. With 8 jointed legs, they navigated the uneven terrain, their movements precise and silent, perfectly attuned to the rhythms of the forest. Trigonotarbids were the undisputed hunters of this new world. They stalked the mossy ground, their bodies low and poised, waiting for the faintest tremor to betray the presence of prey. When the moment came, they struck with lightning speed, their chelicerae razor-sharp and needle-like, piercing the delicate bodies of early insects and other arthropods. Digestive enzymes flowed, dissolving their victims from within, turning the forest floor into a silent stage for the drama of predation. As the first dominant land predators, trigonotarbids claimed the shadowy undergrowth as their domain. They patrolled fallen logs and mossy stones, their eyes, simple yet keen, scanning for the slightest movement. Each individual carved out a territory, defending it fiercely from rivals, their presence shaping the very structure of the ecosystem. The world they inhabited was a labyrinth of towering stems and tangled roots. Ferns unfurled in slow motion, their leaves creating a living maze. Moisture clung to every surface, and the air was thick with the scent of ancient vegetation. Here the trigonotarbids moved with purpose, threading their way through a landscape that was both shelter and hunting ground. The arrival of these predators sent ripples through the ecosystem. Prey species, once free to roam, now faced a gauntlet of danger. Millipedes curled into armoured spirals, their segments locking tight against attack. Tiny insects vanished beneath leaves or burrowed into the damp earth, their survival dependent on camouflage and cunning. Every movement became a calculated risk. Springtails, equipped with powerful tails, launched themselves into the air at the slightest hint of danger, vanishing in a blur of motion. The forest floor was alive with the constant dance of pursuit and escape, each creature finely tuned to the threats that lurked in the shadows. Competition was fierce, not only between predator and prey, but among the hunters themselves. Trigonotarbids faced off in tense standoffs, each vying for the richest hunting grounds. Their postures spoke of ancient rivalries, a silent contest for supremacy that played out beneath the ancient canopy. Their senses were exquisitely adapted to this world. Fine hairs along their legs detected the faintest vibrations, allowing them to pinpoint the movements of hidden prey. Their bodies, low and agile, slipped through the undergrowth with barely a sound, each step a testament to millions of years of evolutionary refinement. The rise of the trigonotarbids was more than a triumph of predation. It was a revolution in the story of life. The transition from water to land demanded innovation at every level, from breathing and movement to reproduction and defense. Each adaptation was a step forward, a bold experiment in the grand laboratory of evolution. In time, the stage would welcome even more formidable players. Giant millipedes, armoured and immense, grazed on decaying plant matter, while early scorpions, some nearly a metre long, prowled the shadows, their pincers and stingers heralding a new era of predatory innovation. The arms race between predator and prey accelerated. Some insects developed spiny armour or secreted noxious chemicals, while others mastered the art of mimicry, blending seamlessly with bark and leaf. Each new defence was met with a countermeasure, a ceaseless cycle of adaptation that drove the diversity of life ever higher. The Devonian landscape became a living mosaic of trails and hiding places, each one telling a story of survival. Arthropods left intricate patterns in the moss, their movements tracing the invisible boundaries between safety and peril. The age of the hunter had dawned in earnest. Predators and prey, locked in a perpetual contest, shaped the destiny of the land. Each encounter was a crucible, forging new forms and behaviours in the relentless pursuit of survival. The legacy of the trigonotarbids endures in every terrestrial predator that followed. Their conquest of the land set in motion a cascade of evolutionary change, a story written in the fossil layers and echoed in the diversity of life that would one day inherit the earth. Imagine a world where the air itself is thick with life, where every breath carries the scent of damp earth and ancient vegetation. Over 300 million years ago, during the Carboniferous period, Earth's atmosphere was saturated with oxygen, nearly twice the concentration of today. This oxygen-rich environment was a crucible for evolutionary experimentation, allowing arthropods to reach sizes unimaginable in the modern world. The forest floor teemed with creatures that dwarfed their descendants, their armoured bodies glistening with dew as they navigated a labyrinth of tangled roots and towering lycopsid trees. At the heart of this primeval jungle, Pulmonoscorpius reigned supreme. This formidable scorpion, nearly a metre in length, was a living tank. Its exoskeleton a mosaic of interlocking plates, each segment bristling with sensory hairs that detected the faintest vibrations. Its pincers, massive and serrated, could crush the armoured shells of rival arthropods, while its tail, tipped with a venomous barb, arched high above its back, ready to strike with blinding speed. Pulmonoscorpius was a master of stealth and patience. It moved with deliberate grace, its legs barely disturbing the moist carpet of decaying leaves. When prey wandered too close, a giant millipede perhaps, or a primitive reptile, the scorpion would freeze, every muscle coiled. In a flash, its pincers would snap shut, pinning its victim, while the stinger delivered a potent cocktail of neurotoxins. The struggle was brief, the outcome inevitable. Yet the dominance of these giants was always at the mercy of the planet's shifting climate. As the Carboniferous swamps began to recede, the lush, humid world that had nurtured such titans faded. Oxygen levels dropped and the once vast forests withered, leaving the colossal arthropods stranded in a world that no longer favoured their size or their strategies. As the Carboniferous gave way to the Permian, the torch of predation passed to new contenders. The landscape transformed, swamps dried, and open plains stretched beneath a harsher sun. Here the first great vertebrate predators emerged, their bodies sculpted by the demands of a changing world. Among these new rulers was Ankylosaurus, a synapsid of staggering proportions. Its skull alone measured nearly a metre, packed with teeth designed not just to pierce, but to pulverize. With each step, its muscular limbs churned up clouds of dust, and its jaws could shatter bone with a single bite. Ankylosaurus was not a hunter of insects, but of other vertebrates. Its reign marked a new chapter in the arms race of predation. As the Permian progressed, evolution produced a predator unlike any before, the saber-toothed gorgonopsid. Sleek and muscular, these hunters moved with feline agility, their bodies built for speed and endurance. Their most fearsome weapon was a pair of elongated canine teeth, razor-sharp sabres that could slice through flesh and sinew with terrifying efficiency. Gorgonopsids hunted in coordinated packs, using strategy and teamwork to bring down prey many times their size. But even the most formidable predators are not immune to the whims of fate. The end of the Permian brought devastation on a scale never before seen. Volcanic eruptions poisoned the air and water, temperatures soared, and ecosystems collapsed. The saber-toothed gorgonopsids, along with nearly all life, vanished in the shadow of the Great Dying. In the aftermath, the world was eerily silent. Yet from the ashes, new forms began to stir. Small, agile predators crept through the barren landscape, their bodies adapted to the harsh new reality. Each extinction, though catastrophic, was also an opportunity, a blank canvas for evolution to paint new masterpieces of predation. The story of scorpions and saber-teeth is a testament to nature's relentless creativity. Across millions of years, the mantle of apex predator has passed from armoured arthropods to bone-crushing synapsids, and then to saber-toothed hunters, each uniquely suited to their time, each leaving an indelible mark on the tapestry of life. In every era, new predators have emerged from the shadows, their senses honed, their bodies refined by the pressures of survival. The eyes of these hunters, glinting in the gloom, are windows into a world where only the most cunning and ruthless endure. For the hunted, every moment is a test of vigilance. The undergrowth conceals silent stalkers, and the faintest tremor in the soil could signal the approach of death. The ancient world was a place of constant tension, where survival depended on sharp senses and swift reflexes. Evolution's crucible forged predators of astonishing diversity, each more specialized, more efficient, and more deadly than the last. The gaze of an apex hunter is the gaze of mastery, a reflection of the world it has conquered. The saga of predation is a story without end. As landscapes transform and climates shift, new monsters rise to claim the throne, each era birthing its own legends of tooth and claw. From the armoured titans of the Carboniferous to the saber-toothed assassins of the Permian, the evolution of predation has shaped the destiny of life on Earth. Each predator in its time was the ultimate test for all who shared its world. And so the chase continues, an endless dance of adaptation and survival, where only the most extraordinary creatures earn the right to rule. After the devastation of the Permian extinction, The world was left barren and silent, its ancient forests reduced to ash, and its rivers running sluggish through cracked, sun-baked earth. The survivors, strange, resilient reptiles, emerged into a landscape where the rules of life had been rewritten. The Triassic period was a crucible, forging new forms of predation in the absence of the old titans. Here, the first true terrestrial hunters began to evolve, each adapting to the harsh, unpredictable world in unique ways. Among these new predators, Phaseolasuchus stood as a formidable force. Unlike anything that had come before, this land-dwelling crocodiliform was a master of ambush. Its immense body, sheathed in rugged osteoderms, moved with surprising stealth across the parched floodplains. Its jaws, lined with interlocking teeth, could shatter bone and tear through the armor of its prey. Every muscle was tuned for explosive power, allowing it to lunge with astonishing speed. Phaseolasuchus was not alone in its reign. The Triassic saw the rise of a diverse array of hunters, each exploiting new strategies. Some, like the agile Sphenosuchians, relied on speed and agility, darting through the undergrowth to snatch smaller prey. Others, such as the armoured Etosaurs, developed defensive adaptations to deter even the most determined attackers. The landscape became a living chessboard, with predators and prey locked in a constant struggle for survival. The anatomy of these new hunters was a testament to evolutionary innovation. Phaseolasuchus, for example, possessed a reinforced skull and a muscular neck, allowing it to deliver bone-crushing bites. Its nostrils were positioned high on its snout, enabling it to breathe while its jaws remained locked on struggling prey. Keen eyesight and acute hearing gave it an edge in the open, sun-drenched plains, where every shadow could conceal a potential meal or a rival. These predators were not solitary shadows. Some, like Phaseolasuchus, may have moved in loose groups, their presence reshaping the behavior of every creature on the plain. At watering holes, their approach sent waves of panic through herds of smaller reptiles, scattering them in all directions. The mere scent of these hunters was enough to clear a path, their dominance etched into the very fabric of the ecosystem. Yet the Triassic world was never stable for long. Cataclysmic volcanic eruptions unleashed torrents of lava and ash, choking the skies and plunging the land into darkness. Acid rain stripped the vegetation, and the air grew thick with toxic fumes. In this chaos, even the mightiest hunters could not endure. The extinction swept across the continents, silencing the roars and footfalls of the dominant predators. As the dust settled and the world began to heal, a new wave of hunters emerged. Early theropod dinosaurs, once overshadowed by their reptilian predecessors, now found open ground. Their bodies were lighter, their limbs longer, and their movements more efficient. With upright stances and advanced respiratory systems, they could chase down prey with relentless stamina, adapting quickly to the changing environment. As lush forests reclaimed the land and rivers teemed with new life, these pioneering dinosaurs diversified into an astonishing array of forms. Some evolved into swift, pack-hunting predators, coordinating attacks with precision. Others grew massive, their jaws lined with serrated teeth, capable of bringing down the largest herbivores. The world was now a tapestry of specialized hunters, each carving out a unique role in the ecosystem. With every extinction, the evolutionary stage was reset. New predators arose, each more finely tuned to their environment than the last. Some developed razor-sharp claws for slashing, others evolved powerful tails for balance and agility. The arms race between hunter and hunted drove an endless cycle of adaptation, innovation, and survival. Over millions of years, the mantle of apex predator passed from one lineage to another. From the armoured crocodiliforms of the Triassic to the swift, cunning theropods of the Jurassic and Cretaceous, each new hunter brought a fresh set of tools to the eternal contest for dominance. The prehistoric world was a living arena, where every adaptation was tested in the crucible of survival. Rival predators faced off at watering holes, their standoffs shaping the destinies of entire species. The balance of power shifted with every generation as new contenders rose to challenge the old. In this ever-evolving world, the story of the hunter was never finished. Each dominant predator left its mark in the fossil record, only to be replaced by the next in line. The relentless cycle of innovation and extinction shaped the very history of life, ensuring that the title of apex predator was always up for grabs, claimed only by those most perfectly adapted to their time. The Jurassic period, stretching from 201 to 145 million years ago, was a world transformed by the rise of titanic reptiles and flourishing plant life. Vast floodplains and dense forests of towering tree ferns, cycads, and ancient conifers blanketed the continents, creating a lush, humid paradise where giants thrived. Herds of sauropods, Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus and Apatosaurus, moved in slow procession across the landscape, their immense bodies dwarfing the trees around them. Their necks, some stretching over 15 meters, allowed them to browse the highest foliage, stripping branches with peg-like teeth as they migrated in search of fresh growth. In the shadow of these gentle giants, the Jurassic's most formidable predators prowled. Allosaurus, with its muscular frame and keen senses, stalked the undergrowth, its eyes scanning for any sign of weakness among the herds. Torvosaurus, heavier and more imposing, moved with deliberate power, its footsteps sending vibrations through the soft earth. These apex hunters were locked in a perpetual contest for supremacy. Allosaurus, agile and cunning, often relied on ambush tactics, darting from cover to deliver slashing attacks. Torvosaurus, with jaws built for bone-crushing force, favoured brute strength, overpowering even the most robust prey. Allosaurus's lightweight skeleton and elongated tail provided perfect balance for high-speed pursuits. It could weave between ancient trunks, its claws extended, ready to seize any unsuspecting prey. Its jaws, lined with serrated teeth, delivered devastating bites, tearing through flesh with surgical precision. Torvosaurus, in contrast, was a powerhouse of predatory engineering. Its skull, reinforced for maximum strength, could withstand the thrashing of desperate herbivores. With each bite, it shattered bone and sinew, leaving little chance for escape. Occasionally, the boundaries between these predators blurred. Drawn by the scent of a dying sauropod, Allosaurus and Torvosaurus might converge, their rivalry momentarily set aside in the face of a feast. Yet such truces were fleeting. Territorial clashes erupted in thunderous displays of strength, echoing through the primeval forest. The Jurassic ecosystem was a tapestry of danger and opportunity. Camouflaged predators lurked in the dappled light, while armoured stegosaurs and swift ornithopods navigated the perils of daily life. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest sauropod, played a role in this intricate web of survival. At the pinnacle stood Allosaurus and Torvosaurus, their presence shaping the behaviour and evolution of every animal in their domain. Their dominance was not merely physical, it was ecological, driving prey species to develop new defences and strategies. Each hunt was a test of adaptation. Allosaurus might coordinate with others, using silent signals to encircle a target, while Torvosaurus relied on solitary ambushes, its patience rewarded by the element of surprise. The diversity of their tactics ensured that no two encounters were ever the same. From mist-shrouded cliffs to sunlit clearings, the calls of these predators resonated for kilometers, a warning to rivals and a challenge to any who dared intrude. Their silhouettes, framed against the dawn, symbolized the raw power of the Jurassic Age. Evolution flourished in this crucible of competition. Sauropods developed air-sac lungs for efficient breathing, while predators refined their senses and weaponry. Armor, speed, and intelligence became the currency of survival, each trait honed by relentless natural selection. Yet beneath the surface, subtle shifts foretold a coming transformation. New species emerged, each more specialized than the last, hinting at the evolutionary arms race that would soon escalate. The giants of the Jurassic, though mighty, sensed the winds of change stirring in the ancient forests. In the twilight of this era, shadows lengthened and a new contender began to rise. Its form, still shrouded in mystery, promised to challenge the very definition of predatory dominance. The silhouette of an unprecedented hunter loomed on the horizon, its arrival destined to reshape the balance of power and usher in a new epoch of evolutionary innovation. As the Jurassic Giants reached the zenith of their reign, the stage was set for a dramatic turning point, one that would forever alter the saga of Earth's most formidable predators. In the twilight of the Cretaceous, North America was a realm transformed by time and tectonics, a continent split by inland seas, its landmass cloaked in humid forests and tangled river valleys. Amid this primeval wilderness, Tyrannosaurus rex emerged as the ultimate sovereign, its reign defined by power, precision, and an evolutionary legacy unmatched by any other terrestrial predator. Towering over the landscape, T-Rex reached lengths of up to 13 meters, its massive tail counterbalancing a barrel-chested torso and a skull nearly as long as a grown man is tall. Each step pressed deep into the mud, leaving behind footprints that would fossilize as silent testaments to its passage. The skull of T-Rex was a fortress of bone, its architecture designed to withstand the immense forces generated by its bite. Rows of conical serrated teeth, some exceeding 30 centimeters, were continually replaced throughout its life, ensuring that each bite could puncture, crush, and shear through the thickest armor and bone. T-Rex's senses were honed for predation. Its forward-facing eyes granted it binocular vision, allowing for precise depth perception, crucial for tracking and ambushing prey. Enlarged olfactory bulbs within its skull suggest a sense of smell so acute it could detect the scent of carrion or hidden prey from kilometers away, while its inner ear structure hints at the ability to perceive low-frequency sounds, perhaps the distant footfalls of potential rivals or prey. The Cretaceous was no gentle kingdom. T-Rex shared its domain with formidable herbivores, Triceratops with its shielded frill and lethal horns, and Ankylosaurus armored like a living fortress. Each hunt was a calculated risk, demanding patience, stealth, and explosive power. T-Rex would stalk the margins of herds, waiting for a moment of weakness before launching a devastating attack. Dominance was asserted not only through violence, but through presence. T-Rex patrolled vast territories, its thunderous roar reverberating across the plains and forests, a signal to rivals and a warning to intruders. The boundaries of its domain were marked by scent, sound, and the scars of past battles. But even the mightiest predator was powerless before the cataclysm that followed. 66 million years ago, a mountain-sized asteroid tore through the atmosphere, striking with a force that dwarfed any volcanic eruption or earthquake. The impact unleashed shockwaves, firestorms, and a global winter that would erase entire ecosystems. In the aftermath, the world was plunged into darkness. Ash and debris blotted out the sun, temperatures plummeted, and acid rain poisoned the land. Plants withered, and the intricate web of life unravelled. T-Rex, once the unchallenged apex, found its world shrinking, its prey vanishing, and its reign ending not with a battle, but with silence. The silence that followed was profound. The age of dinosaurs ended in a geological instant, leaving behind only bones and the faintest echoes of thunderous footsteps. The once vibrant world of T-Rex faded into memory, its legacy preserved in stone. In the void left by T-Rex, the land lay quiet. The throne of apex predator stood empty, awaiting the slow return of life and the rise of new contenders. As the planet healed, new forms of life began to emerge. Flowering plants spread across the recovering forests, and small mammals, once overshadowed by giants, ventured into the open, seizing opportunities in a world forever changed. The struggle for dominance resumed, but the cast had changed. New predators evolved, each adapting to the challenges of their era, some swift and cunning, others armoured or armed with new weapons forged by evolution's relentless pressure. In the shadow of extinction, mammals flourished. Agile, warm-blooded and resourceful, they filled the ecological void, diversifying into forms that would one day inherit the Earth. The saga of apex predators is a chronicle of adaptation and innovation. Each epoch brought forth new rulers, each more specialized, more formidable, and more attuned to the demands of their world. Life's resilience endures through every trial. Evolution's creative force never ceases, and the quest for supremacy continues, shaping the tapestry of life with every passing age. As the last thunderous footsteps of the dinosaurs faded into memory, Earth's landscapes transformed into a realm of opportunity and uncertainty. The age of mammals dawned quietly, with the world's forests, plains and swamps echoing with the calls of creatures unlike any that had come before. In the aftermath of extinction, the survivors, small, shrew-like mammals, ventured into new ecological niches, their senses sharp and their instincts honed by generations of evasion. Yet the world was not empty of peril. On the ancient floodplains of South America, Baurasuchus, a formidable land crocodile, stalked the undergrowth. Its elongated limbs propelled it with surprising speed, while its armoured hide glistened beneath the sun. With jaws engineered to shatter bone, Baurasuchus ambushed unwary mammals, its predatory gaze fixed on the new rulers of the land. In the tangled forests and along muddy riverbanks, Baurasuchus reigned as a living vestige of the reptilian age. Its ambushes were swift and brutal, a reminder that the ancient order still lingered in the shadows, even as mammals began to multiply and diversify. As epochs passed, the balance of power shifted. From the dense Eocene woodlands emerged Hyaenodon, a predator unlike any before. Its elongated skull housed a battery of crushing teeth, and its nostrils flared as it tracked the scent of prey across windswept grasslands. Hyaenodon's relentless pursuit and pack tactics made it a terror to all who crossed its path. The Paleogene world was a tapestry of innovation. Herds of herbivorous mammals grazed beneath towering ferns, while nimble insectivores darted through the underbrush. Predators and prey evolved in tandem, each adaptation a response to the ever-present threat of extinction. The air was alive with the sounds of pursuit and escape as every creature vied for survival. In these shifting habitats, the last of the great reptiles retreated into obscurity. Mammalian predators, with their keen senses and agile bodies, began to dominate the food chains. The world's apex hunters were no longer armoured in scales, but cloaked in fur and muscle, their strategies as varied as the landscapes they roamed. Evolution's experiments grew ever more ambitious. Some mammals, like the massive Uintatheres, developed bony protrusions and thick hides for defence, while others, such as the Nimravids, honed their claws and teeth for the hunt. The forests echoed with the trumpeting calls of Brontotheres, and the plains trembled beneath the charge of armoured glyptodonts. Battles for dominance played out in every corner of the continent. Packs of carnivorous mammals coordinated attacks on massive herbivores, while solitary hunters stalked the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Each encounter was a test of strength, speed and cunning, shaping the evolutionary path of both predator and prey. Gradually, mammals asserted their dominance over the land. Their ability to regulate body temperature, nurture their young, and adapt to changing environments gave them an edge over the cold-blooded reptiles that once ruled. The Cenozoic era was a time of dramatic transformation. Continents drifted apart, mountain ranges rose, and climates oscillated between warmth and ice. These changes sculpted new habitats, forcing creatures to adapt or vanish. Carnivorous mammals diversified into a stunning array of forms. Some, like the bear dogs, combined brute strength with surprising agility, while others, such as the saber-toothed Nimravids, evolved elongated canines for dispatching large prey. Each species carved out a unique role in the ancient food web. Across the open plains, colossal predators like Andrewsarchus prowled, their massive jaws capable of crushing bone and sinew. In the forests, smaller but equally deadly hunters relied on stealth and cooperation, perfecting the art of the ambush. In this ever-evolving theatre of life, every hunt, every chase, and every narrow escape wrote a new page in the saga of survival. The age of mammals was not merely an era of new rulers, but a crucible where innovation, adaptation, and raw determination shaped the destiny of all who walk the earth. As the Neogene epoch unfolded, Earth's landscapes underwent a dramatic transformation. Endless grasslands swept across continents, replacing dense forests and creating new ecological frontiers. Mammals, liberated from the shadow of ancient reptiles, diversified into astonishing forms. Herds of colossal herbivores, towering Paraceratherium, nimble Chalicotheres, and armoured rhinoceroses migrated in vast numbers, their thunderous passage shaping the very terrain beneath their feet. In this new world, predators evolved to match the scale and speed of their prey, giving rise to a new era of formidable hunters. Among the most fearsome of these hunters were the amphibianids, or bear dogs. These massive carnivores combined the brute strength of bears with the relentless pursuit of canines. Their jaws, capable of crushing bone, allowed them to tackle prey far larger than themselves. Amphibianids prowled the woodlands and open plains, hunting in packs or as solitary giants, their presence a constant threat to the herbivorous titans of the age. As time marched forward, true bears emerged and radiated into new niches. In the wilds of South America, Arctotherium rose to dominance. This colossal short-faced bear dwarfed all other terrestrial predators, its muscular frame and immense claws making it a force of nature. Meanwhile, in the frigid expanses of North America, Arctidus, another giant, raced across the tundra, its long limbs built for speed, enabling it to chase down prey or scavenge over vast distances. Arctotherium's reign was marked by fierce competition and adaptability. It hunted the armoured glyptodonts and massive ground sloths that roamed the ancient pampas, using its towering height to intimidate rivals and its keen senses to locate carrion from miles away. Whether ambushing prey or driving off saber-toothed cats from a fresh kill, Arctotherium's dominance was undisputed in its realm. The Pleistocene epoch ushered in a new caste of giants. Mammoths and mastodons, draped in thick fur, traversed icy steppes in search of grazing grounds. Predators like Smilodon fatalis, with its elongated canines, and dire wolves, with their powerful jaws and pack strategies, stalked these herds. The landscape was a tapestry of survival, where every day brought a new struggle between predator and prey. In these frozen realms, the hunt was a spectacle of strategy and strength. Packs of dire wolves coordinated their attacks with precision, isolating the weak from the herd. Solitary bears and saber-toothed cats relied on ambush and raw power, each encounter a test of evolutionary prowess. The balance of life and death played out in the snow and shadow, shaping the destinies of entire species. As the Ice Age waned, the world's climate shifted once more. Glaciers receded, forests shrank, and the sprawling grasslands gave way to new environments. Megafauna, once rulers of the open plains, found their habitats shrinking and resources dwindling. The great migrations slowed, and the thunder of giant herds faded into memory. In this changing world, many apex predators faced extinction. Arctodus, once a master of the tundra, wandered barren landscapes in search of food, its massive form ill-suited to the new scarcity. Smilodon, unable to adapt to the shifting prey base and climate, vanished, leaving only bones entombed in thawing permafrost as silent witnesses to their former glory. Yet not all was lost. Some bears, smaller and more adaptable, survived the upheaval. Brown bears mastered the art of fishing in rushing rivers, while polar bears ventured onto the Arctic ice, evolving to hunt seals in the frozen north. These survivors became living testaments to the resilience and ingenuity of their lineage, thriving where others had fallen. Today, the wilderness echoes with the legacy of these ancient giants. The paw prints of modern bears cross paths with the fossilized tracks of their colossal ancestors, a silent dialogue across the ages. Though the age of megafauna has ended, their saga endures, etched in stone, whispered by the wind, and embodied in the enduring strength of the bears that still roam the wild frontiers of our planet. As the first light crept across the ancient grasslands, the world's creatures moved with a new wariness. Invisible to the eye, a force unlike any before had begun to ripple through the wild, a force not of brute strength, but of cunning and foresight. The landscape itself seemed to sense the shift, as patterns of movement and signs of life subtly changed. Birds erupted skyward at the faintest disturbance, and herds clustered tightly, their senses sharpened by an unfamiliar tension. The air itself seemed charged, as if every creature could feel the approach of a new kind of hunter, one that left no scent, but whose influence was everywhere. Along the forest margins, the undergrowth bore silent witness to careful passage. Branches snapped in deliberate patterns, and the remains of prey told stories in the language of stone and bone. Scavengers circled, waiting for their chance, as the marks of sharp-edged tools revealed a new method of predation, one that harvested not only the vulnerable, but the formidable. The land itself began to transform. Patches of scorched earth gave way to fresh shoots, arranged in patterns that defied the randomness of lightning or wildfire. Over generations, the footprints of giants faded from riverbanks, replaced by the delicate tracks of smaller, more elusive creatures. Watering holes, once vibrant with the thunder of massive herds, grew silent. Only the boldest or most desperate dared approach, their movements tentative and eyes ever watchful. Across the plains, the absence of towering forms spoke of a profound and irreversible change. Forests thinned, their canopies opening to the sun as ancient trees fell and undergrowth was swept aside. Wetlands, once tangled with reeds and teeming with amphibian life, gradually gave way to unfamiliar patterns of growth, their native flora replaced by newcomers that thrived in altered soil. In the wake of vanished giants, new survivors emerged. Insects and small mammals seized the opportunities left behind, their populations swelling in the absence of old threats. Predators, once rulers of their domains, now watched from the shadows, forced to adapt to a world where the rules had changed. As dusk settled, the chorus of life grew thin. Valleys that once echoed with the calls of countless species now lay quiet, the hush broken only by the wind. The emptiness was not just a lack of sound, but a testament to the magnitude of change. The very fabric of the land shifted. Invasive plants took root in disturbed soils, their rapid growth crowding out ancient species. Beneath the surface, the soil itself changed, its layers marked by the passage of time and the relentless touch of an unseen hand. Rivers, once wild and unpredictable, now followed new courses. Wetlands shrank as water was diverted, and the scars of ancient fires lingered on the horizon, reminders of a landscape forever altered. At the edge of clearings, the last great hunters paused, sensing boundaries they could not cross. As the sun rose, it revealed a world transformed, every creature, every plant, every breath of wind shaped by the presence of a single, unseen predator. The wilderness, once untouched, now bore the subtle fingerprints of transformation. In every trembling leaf and shifting shadow, the story of adaptation and resilience unfolded. A world forever changed by the rise of a predator whose greatest weapon was the power to reshape the earth itself. In the present era, the world's apex predators reign over landscapes sculpted by time and evolution. Each continent, each ocean, is a stage for a unique cast of hunters, each one a masterpiece of adaptation, precision, and instinct. Deep within the emerald labyrinths of Asia, tigers move with spectral silence. Their paws press softly into the leaf litter, barely disturbing the hush of the forest. Muscles ripple beneath striped fur, every sinew tuned for the sudden burst of speed that will decide life or death. The tiger's gaze is unwavering, golden eyes locked on the faintest flicker of movement. Whiskers twitch, nostrils flare, and the world narrows to a single heartbeat, the moment before the strike. Across the sun-drenched savannas of Africa, lions stride with regal confidence. The pride is a living tapestry of cooperation, each member attuned to the others, every movement a signal in the silent language of survival. When the hunt begins, lionesses fan out, flanking herds with practiced precision. The air vibrates with tension as they close in, muscles taut, eyes sharp, every step calculated to exploit the weakness of their quarry. The roar of a lion rolls across the plains, a thunderous proclamation that echoes through the grasslands, marking territory and sending a ripple of caution through every creature within earshot. In the frost-bitten wilds of the north, wolves traverse snow-laden forests and windswept tundra. Their breath steams in the cold air, paws leaving crisp imprints as they move in seamless formation. Each wolf is a thread in a living tapestry of kinship and strategy. Their bodies communicate in subtle shifts. Ears flick, tails rise, shoulders brush, transmitting intent and unity without a sound. The pack's coordination is a marvel of instinct and experience. With a glance or a low whine, they orchestrate complex maneuvers, weaving through trees and snowdrifts to outflank their prey. Wolves are more than hunters. They are keystones. Their presence ripples outward, shaping the very land. Rivers meander anew, forests thicken, and the pulse of life quickens in their wake. Beneath the ocean's surface, a different drama unfolds. Here, apex predators have evolved to master a world of currents, shadows, and endless blue. The great white shark glides with effortless power, its body a marvel of hydrodynamics. Electroreceptors in its snout detect the faintest electrical signals, guiding it to hidden prey. Rows of serrated teeth glint in the filtered sunlight, each one designed to shear through flesh and bone. Muscles ripple beneath smooth skin, propelling the shark with sudden, explosive force. In the open ocean, orcas move with a grace that belies their size. Their eyes gleam with intelligence, and their calls echo through the water, weaving a tapestry of communication. Each pod is a society, bound by family ties and shared knowledge. They devise hunting strategies unique to their region. Some launch themselves onto icy shores to seize seals, others herd fish into tight balls, while a few challenge even the mightiest whales. Modern apex predators are sculptors of their realms. Their actions ripple through food webs, shaping the abundance and diversity of life around them. Their influence keeps populations in check, curbs outbreaks of disease, and ensures that ecosystems remain vibrant and resilient. Remove these hunters, and the consequences are swift and severe. Prey animals multiply unchecked, devouring vegetation, and the intricate balance collapses into chaos. Yet the world is never still. Apex predators must adapt to shifting climates, changing prey, and evolving rivals. Their survival depends on flexibility and innovation. From droughts that parch the savanna to storms that churn the seas, every challenge is a crucible, forging new strengths and strategies in the fires of adversity. The legacy of these predators is etched into the world itself. Claw marks on ancient trees, tracks pressed into fresh snow, and the silent passage of fins through the deep. In this ever-changing world, modern apex predators endure as the ultimate survivors, dynamic, vigilant, and forever shaping the wild places they call home. In the dim recesses beneath ancient leaf litter, where roots twist and stones warm in the filtered sunlight, a silent drama unfolds. Here, the world's most elusive predators operate in the shadows, their existence woven into the very fabric of their environments. These are the masters of concealment, whose survival depends not on brute force, but on the perfection of their adaptations, each one a marvel of evolutionary artistry. A single flicker of movement betrays a predator so well camouflaged that it seems conjured from the earth itself. Its skin mirrors the mottled browns and greens of the forest floor, rendering it nearly invisible to both prey and rival. High above, the eyelash viper coils with exquisite patience, its scales a living mosaic of emerald and gold. Each scale refracts the dappled light, breaking up its outline among the tangled vines and mosses. The viper's body remains utterly still, save for the faintest ripple as a bird alights nearby. Its tongue flicks, tasting the air, calculating the perfect moment to strike. In a heartbeat, the viper's head darts forward, fangs unfolding like switchblades. Venom surges through hollow teeth, overwhelming the prey's nervous system before it can even react. The snake's camouflage is so complete that moments later it vanishes once more into the tapestry of leaves, a ghost among the greenery. On the damp forest floor, the blue poison dart frog stands in stark contrast to its surroundings. Its skin gleams with an electric cobalt, a living warning sign pulsing with danger. Each droplet of moisture on its skin carries a potent alkaloid toxin, a chemical shield forged from the frog's diet of ants and mites. Even the most determined predator recoils at the mere taste. Larger hunters, drawn by hunger, pause at the sight of this vivid sentinel. The frog's colours are a promise of agony, a lesson learned through generations of failed attacks. As dusk settles over arid grasslands, the deathstalker scorpion emerges from its burrow. Its exoskeleton, pale and translucent, glides over the sand with eerie precision. With a sudden flick, its tail arches, delivering a dose of neurotoxin that instantly incapacitates beetles, lizards, or even small mammals. The scorpion's pincers, delicate yet deadly, manipulate its prey with surgical finesse. Under ultraviolet light, the scorpion's armor radiates an ethereal blue-green glow, a spectral beacon invisible to most creatures, yet a testament to its ancient lineage. In the tangled undergrowth, the assassin bug stalks with calculated intent. Its angular body casts sharp shadows, blending seamlessly with the detritus of the forest floor. When opportunity arises, the bug's needle-like proboscis plunges into its victim, injecting a cocktail of enzymes that dissolve flesh from within. The result is a nutrient-rich broth, consumed with methodical precision. The assassin bug's patience is legendary. It waits, motionless, until the perfect moment, then strikes with unerring accuracy, ensuring its meal is never wasted. In tranquil ponds, the smooth newt glides beneath the surface, its skin a tapestry of vibrant hues and subtle toxins. Above, the Asian tiger mosquito hovers, drawn by the faintest ripple. The newt's skin exudes alkaloids that deter most would-be attackers, while the mosquito's slender proboscis pierces with surgical precision, extracting blood and delivering microscopic parasites that ripple through the food web. Each of these predators wields a unique arsenal: venoms that paralyze, toxins that repel, camouflage that deceives, and stealth that ensures survival. Their methods are as varied as the landscapes they inhabit. In these quiet realms, the presence of a predator is often betrayed only by a fleeting shadow or a sudden stillness, a testament to their mastery of the unseen hunt. Across rainforests, ponds, deserts and grasslands, these hidden assassins shape the destinies of countless creatures, their influence rippling through every layer of the ecosystem. In the intricate web of life, it is these lesser-known predators, silent, patient and deadly, that remind us of nature's boundless creativity. Their stories are written in shadows, their triumphs measured in the quiet balance of the wild. The saga of Earth's predators is a chronicle of relentless transformation, where survival is dictated by the ever-shifting tapestry of the planet's environments. From the earliest days, each predator's fate has been entwined with the planet's volatile moods, its continents in motion, its climates in flux, its skies and seas in constant upheaval. In the Permian, the land itself convulses. towering volcanoes belch rivers of fire, painting the horizon with a haze of ash. The air thickens with poison, sunlight dims, and the seas turn hostile, their chemistry warped by the fallout. Apex hunters, like the Gorgonopsids, once rulers of their domain, find their world transformed into a gauntlet of survival. Their sabred jaws, once tools of dominance, now gnash in vain against a landscape stripped of prey and hope. The aftermath is written in bone. Fossilized remains scattered across desiccated riverbeds, silent witnesses to the merciless cost of planetary change. As epochs pass, the world is reborn. In the early Cretaceous, forests erupt with colour as flowering plants burst forth, weaving new complexity into the web of life. Insects drawn to these blossoms diversify in astonishing forms and numbers. Their proliferation beckons a new breed of predator, nimble, feathered and cunning, each one finely tuned to the chase. Raptors, once terrestrial terrors, shrink in size and sprout feathers. Some take to the trees, others to the skies, their bodies sculpted by the demands of flight and the promise of new prey above the forest floor. Millennia later, the world opens into vast grasslands beneath turbulent skies. The late Cenozoic is an age of giants, where open plains become arenas for new evolutionary contests. Here, the giant short-faced bear and the saber-toothed cat emerge as titans, their power and speed honed for the pursuit of massive prey across endless fields of grass. But the rhythm of the ice ages brings cycles of abundance and scarcity. As glaciers advance and retreat, herds migrate or vanish, and predators must either adapt their strategies or face oblivion. Some, like the dire wolf, are unable to keep pace with the shifting world. Their legacy fades, leaving only skeletal remains and faint genetic traces in the tapestry of life. Beneath the waves, extinction events sweep through the oceans with equal ferocity. Murky waters churn as ancient marine predators are swept away by sudden, catastrophic change. The end of the Cretaceous arrives with a cosmic blow, an asteroid impact that ignites the sky and shrouds the globe in darkness, rewriting the rules of existence in a single devastating moment. In the aftermath, the mighty mosasaurs, once sovereigns of the ancient seas, are erased, their reign ended by forces beyond their comprehension. Yet, in the abyssal dark, life persists. Giant squid and sleek predatory sharks evolve, their bodies engineered for the silent hunt in a world forever altered by disaster. Throughout deep time, the planet's upheavals, volcanoes, floods, the slow drift of continents serve as both destroyer and creator, forging new landscapes and new opportunities. Volcanic winters plunge the world into cold and darkness, seas rise to swallow coastlines, and climates shift with merciless unpredictability. Each event erases some, but forges the path for others to rise. The survivors are those who innovate, predators that alter their diets, refine their senses, or master new hunting grounds. Flexibility becomes the ultimate weapon in the struggle for existence. Extinction in this world is not a final act, but a catalyst. As one lineage fades, another emerges, each new predator a testament to the creative power of adversity. Every crisis is a crucible, forging new forms and strategies. Apex predators rise from the ashes of disaster, their bodies and instincts shaped by the unique challenges of their time. The story of evolution under pressure is inscribed in the very code of life. Each living predator carries the legacy of ancient cataclysms, a genetic memory of adaptation, resilience, and the ceaseless dance with a world that never stands still. In the silent hush of dawn, as the world's edges blur between night and day, The future of Earth's predators is being forged in realms both seen and unseen. Shadows stretch across ancient forests, where the silhouettes of apex hunters flicker against the mist. Each movement a testament to the delicate balance that has always defined survival. Across continents, ecosystems shift with a subtle but relentless momentum. The warming breath of the planet reshapes landscapes, coaxing new growth in some regions while erasing the familiar contours of others. Rivers carve new paths, forests retreat or advance, and the stage upon which predators hunt is redrawn with every passing season. In the far north, a polar bear navigates a labyrinth of fractured ice, each step a calculation between hunger and hope. The bear's fur glistens with beads of melting frost, its breath curling in the frigid air as it scans the horizon for the faintest sign of prey. The ancient rhythm of the hunt is interrupted by the slow collapse of permafrost, the ground beneath the bear's paws trembling with the memory of a colder age. Each inhale draws in the scent of distant seals, but the ice is thinner, the distances greater, and the challenge more profound. The bear's massive paw presses against the fragile crust, sending a web of cracks across the surface, a fleeting reminder of resilience in a world that demands constant adaptation. Deep within the emerald labyrinth of the rainforest, the air is thick with the scent of moss and the distant call of unseen creatures. A jaguar glides through the undergrowth, its muscles rippling beneath a coat dappled with shifting sunlight. Each step is measured, each pause a calculation, as it listens for the faint rustle of potential prey. Above, the canopy is fractured. Patches of bare earth and fallen trunks mark the scars of a changing world. The jaguar's territory is a mosaic of shadow and light, where the boundaries of safety and danger are redrawn with every lost tree. Prey animals, once abundant, now slip deeper into the tangled green, their movements cautious and unpredictable. The jaguar's pursuit becomes a dance of patience and precision, a test of instinct against the shifting odds of survival. Beneath the ocean's surface, a great white shark glides through a world transformed by unseen forces. The water is tinged with unfamiliar hues, currents swirl with new patterns, and the boundaries of the shark's domain are in constant flux. Chemical changes ripple through the sea, dulling the shark's legendary senses. The familiar scent trails of prey are masked by the shifting chemistry, forcing the predator to rely on new cues and sharpened instincts. Prey fish, sensitive to the slightest change, migrate to deeper, cooler waters, leaving the shark to patrol unfamiliar depths. The ancient chase is rewritten, each encounter a lesson in adaptation. Invisible toxins thread their way through the food web, altering the very fabric of life beneath the waves. The predator's power is tested not just by hunger, but by the unseen dangers that now lurk in every meal. On the sun-baked savannas, the air shimmers with heat, and the ground is etched with the memory of vanished rains. A lioness stands atop a rise, her gaze sweeping across a plain fractured by drought. The once teeming herds are scattered, their paths dictated by the unpredictable rhythm of shifting storms. Each hunt is a gamble, each victory hard-won. The lioness's golden eyes reflect the uncertainty of a world where instinct alone is no longer enough. Across the globe, predators are forced to rewrite the rules of survival. Some, like the coyote and the leopard, display a remarkable ability to adapt, venturing into new territories, learning to exploit unfamiliar prey, and thriving in landscapes reshaped by change. Their journeys take them from dense forests to open plains, from mountain slopes to the edges of new biomes, each step a testament to the power of flexibility. These adaptable hunters experiment with new diets, develop novel hunting strategies, and carve out niches in places where their ancestors never roamed. Others, bound by the narrow confines of evolutionary specialization, find themselves at the mercy of a world that no longer fits their ancient blueprints. Their struggles echo through the wild, a reminder that survival favors those who can change. Yet, even as old powers wane, new opportunities emerge in the ever-shifting tapestry of life. As habitats transform, new ecological niches open, inviting bold experiments in predation and survival. The boundaries between hunter and hunted blur, and the rules of engagement are rewritten with every generation. In the labyrinthine shadows of coral reefs, the octopus becomes a master of disguise, weaving through crevices and ambushing prey with uncanny precision. In the dense undergrowth of northern forests, the pine marten leaps from branch to branch, exploiting opportunities that arise in the wake of change. These overlooked hunters thrive by embracing the unknown, their survival a living testament to the power of innovation and adaptability. The destiny of Earth's predators is a story still unfolding, one shaped by the interplay of climate, habitat, and the relentless drive to endure. As landscapes shift and climates evolve, predators must navigate a world of constant transformation, where every advantage is fleeting and every challenge demands a new response. The drama of survival plays out against a backdrop of swirling storms, advancing deserts, and forests reborn from fire and flood. Each predator's fate is woven into the larger story of a planet in motion. In forests, on plains, and beneath the waves, the next generation of hunters emerges, shaped by the lessons of the past, but driven by the demands of a world that never stands still. Some will fade into legend, their stories etched in the bones of vanished landscapes. Others will rise as pioneers, forging new paths through the unknown, their instincts sharpened by the crucible of change. The future belongs to those who can navigate the shifting shadows, who can sense opportunity in uncertainty and transform challenge into triumph. The saga of predation is far from over. It is written in the silent footfalls of hunters, in the restless pulse of the wild, and in the ever-changing tapestry of life that covers the earth. As long as the planet's heart beats, the story of its predators will continue, restless, unfinished, and forever evolving. Gap 2s. In the hushed underbelly of the world, where sunlight rarely penetrates and silence is a cloak, a different kind of predator reigns, not with speed or strength, but with ingenuity. These are the architects of ambush, hunters who sculpt their environment to tip the balance of survival in their favor. Their story unfolds not in open pursuit, but in the patient art of transformation. Beneath the forest floor, the antlion larva lies in wait, half buried at the base of a perfectly engineered pit. With jaws agape, it senses the tremors of approaching prey, an oblivious ant, drawn ever closer to the edge of a funnel-shaped trap. Grains of sand are flung with uncanny precision, undermining the ant's grip and sending it tumbling down the steep sides. In this microcosm, the predator is both hunter and engineer, its survival dependent on mastery of physics as much as instinct. In the sprawling wetlands, the archerfish hovers just below the water's surface, eyes fixed on an unsuspecting insect perched above. A jet of water, calculated to account for refraction and distance, arcs through the air. The droplet strikes true, dislodging the prey and sending it tumbling into the waiting jaws below. Here, predation is not a chase, but a calculated shot, a demonstration of ballistic precision honed across generations. Beneath the shifting sands of the desert, the trapdoor spider crafts a hidden lair, its silk-lined door camouflaged with grains of earth and debris. The spider waits in utter stillness, legs poised at the threshold, attuned to the faintest vibrations. When a beetle stirs the surface, the door bursts open, a flash of fangs, a swift retreat. The landscape itself becomes a weapon, fashioned by the spider's patient labour. In tropical rivers, the electric eel lurks in tangled roots, body coiled like a living wire. With a pulse of electricity, it stuns unsuspecting fish, paralysing them before they ever sense danger. The eel's power is not just in its muscles or teeth, but in its ability to manipulate the invisible currents that course through its watery world. These predators reveal a truth as old as life itself. Evolution rewards not only the swift or the strong, but the clever. Across continents and biomes, the architects of ambush demonstrate that survival can hinge on the ability to reshape the world, to turn the familiar into the unexpected, and to transform the ordinary into a stage for the extraordinary. As the camera lingers on the subtle artistry of these hidden hunters, the spiral of a pit, the shimmer of a silk-lined door, the ripple of a perfectly aimed jet of water, the lesson is clear. In the endless contest of predator and prey, innovation is as vital as instinct. The architects of ambush remind us that the future of predation will belong to those who can both imagine and create the perfect trap, in worlds both seen and unseen. In the farthest reaches of the planet, where life seems impossible and survival is measured in heartbeats, evolution has sculpted predators into living paradoxes, fragile yet fierce, delicate yet deadly. Here the rules of predation are rewritten by the merciless hand of the environment. Beneath the crushing darkness of the deep sea, where sunlight is a myth and pressure can shatter steel, the gulper eel glides in silence. Its jaw unhinges wide enough to swallow prey half its size, a necessity in a world where meals are rare and opportunities fleeting. Bioluminescent lures dangle from its tail, painting ghostly patterns in the ink-black void, drawing curious fish ever closer to oblivion. On the blistering salt flats of the Atacama, the sand-diving sidewinder snake has mastered the art of movement on shifting, scorching ground. Its body forms a looping, sideways dance, lifting most of its length off the burning surface to minimize contact, each step a calculated risk. Prey is scarce, and patience is paramount. When a careless lizard darts by, the sidewinder strikes with explosive speed, its venom a swift end in an unforgiving world. In the icy grip of Antarctica, the leopard seal reigns as an apex predator beneath the fractured ice. Sleek and serpentine, it glides with predatory grace through labyrinths of submerged caverns. It hunts penguins and fish with a combination of stealth and raw power, teeth designed to slice flesh and sift krill alike. Here, survival depends on an ability to read the shifting patterns of ice and shadow, to exploit every fleeting opportunity in a landscape forever in flux. High above, in the razor-thin air of the Himalayas, the snow leopard stalks sheer cliffs and frozen ridges. Its pale coat blends seamlessly with rock and snow, while powerful lungs and broad paws are adapted for thin air and treacherous ground. A single leap can span 15 meters, an ambush measured in both distance and daring. Prey is elusive, and every hunt is a test of endurance and ingenuity. Across these extremes, From abyssal plains to sun-baked deserts, from polar seas to mountain peaks, predators are sculpted by adversity. Their bodies and behaviors are blueprints of adaptation, each trait a hard-won answer to the challenges of their world. In these crucibles of survival, only the most inventive endure. As the visuals sweep across these inhospitable landscapes, the eerie glow of deep-sea hunters, the hypnotic dance of the sidewinder, the silent pursuit beneath polar ice, the solitary trek across snowbound cliffs, we witness a stark truth. Life's fiercest predators are not just conquerors of their prey, but masters of their environment. In the harshest corners of Earth, adaptation is the sharpest weapon of all. Across the tapestry of life, the story of predators and prey is not a tale of dominance, but a relentless arms race, an eternal contest where every advantage sparks a counter and every adaptation reshapes the battlefield. As the camera sweeps through ancient forests, we witness the Devonian seas, where armoured fish, placoderms, first evolved jaws lined with bony plates, allowing them to crush the shells of trilobites. But this victory was fleeting. Trilobites responded with thicker, spiked carapaces, each generation a testament to the escalating conflict. Transitioning to the Carboniferous swamps, the narrative shifts to the rise of giant dragonflies, their wings spanning nearly a metre. These aerial hunters evolved powerful mandibles and acute vision, preying on primitive insects. Yet their quarry fought back. Some evolved cryptic camouflage, blending perfectly with ancient ferns, while others developed toxic chemicals, turning a simple meal into a deadly gamble. In the lush undergrowth of the Mesozoic, a silent duel unfolds between agile raptors and their prey. Small dinosaurs like Protoceratops grow robust neck frills and sharp beaks, while their pursuers, the cunning velociraptors, refine their sickle-shaped claws and pack-hunting strategies. Each evolutionary leap is mirrored by a counter-move. Defense begets offense, and vice versa. Cut now to the Cenozoic grasslands. Here, the cheetah's explosive speed is matched stride for stride by the pronghorn antelope, whose own swiftness was honed by generations of evading, now extinct predators. The visuals slow, highlighting the taut muscles, the pounding hooves, the split-second decisions that decide life or death in open plains. In the ocean's depths, a different contest rages. The giant squid arms itself with long barbed tentacles and inky smokescreens, while its nemesis, the sperm whale, evolves sonar so precise it can hunt in utter darkness. Their encounters are battles of strategy and adaptation, each shaping the other's destiny. From microscopic plankton developing armor against tiny predators to the coevolution of toxic newts and resistant snakes, the arms race is everywhere, silent, ceaseless, and deeply intertwined. Every adaptation, every innovation is both shield and sword, fueling a cycle that has driven evolution for hundreds of millions of years. As the visuals fade from ancient seas to modern savannas, one truth remains. The predator-prey arms race is not about victory, but survival. In this endless contest, the only constant is change. In the shadows between predator and prey, a quieter revolution unfolded, one not of speed or brute strength, but of invisibility. As dawn breaks over a primordial forest, the camera moves in close, a leaf unmoving. Suddenly it blinks. A praying mantis, perfectly disguised, waits with patience, honed by millennia. Across the world's ecosystems, camouflage became the ultimate tool, not only to evade, but to ambush. Cut to the coral reefs, where a tasseled wobbegong shark lies motionless, its fringed skin mirroring the ocean floor. Tiny fish swim perilously close, unable to distinguish hunter from habitat, until, in a blur, the shark strikes. The narrative shifts to the Arctic tundra, where the stoat, clad in winter white, melts into the snowdrifts. Each step is calculated, each pause deliberate. Nearby, a ptarmigan, its feathers also white, remains invisible until it moves, a reminder that the arms race of camouflage is fought on both sides. Travel now to the rainforest canopy, where a green tree python coils among the vines. Its scales catch the dappled sunlight, rendering it all but invisible to passing birds. The camera glides to the forest floor, where a gaboon viper, patterned like fallen leaves, waits in silence for a careless rodent. Here, patience is a weapon, and stillness is lethal. In the ocean's twilight zone, the spotlight falls on the blanket octopus. With a subtle flick, it unfurls membranes that shimmer and vanish, confusing both predator and prey. Bioluminescent squid flash and fade, blending with the starlit water above, escaping notice from hungry eyes below. Even in the insect world, masters of disguise abound. Stick insects sway with the breeze, indistinguishable from twigs. The owl butterfly, when threatened, reveals false eye spots on its wings, mimicking the gaze of a much larger predator, freezing would-be attackers in a moment of doubt. Each example is a testament to the power of stealth, a strategy that transcends time and habitat. For these predators, evolution favoured those who could vanish in plain sight, turning the act of hunting into an art of patience, deception, and surprise. In this silent revolution, survival belongs not to the strongest, but to the unseen. Beneath the shimmering surface, in a world sculpted by water and pressure, the story of predation unfolds on an epic scale. Here, evolution has forged hunters unlike any found on land, creatures honed by millions of years to dominate the endless blue. The camera descends into the twilight zone, where sunlight fades and shadows reign. A school of lanternfish pulses with eerie bioluminescence, weaving through the darkness. Suddenly, a sleek silhouette approaches, a giant squid. Its arms ripple with chromatophores, shifting patterns that dazzle and confuse. With a burst of jet propulsion, it engulfs its prey, tentacles lined with hundreds of suckers, each a marvel of evolutionary engineering. Cut to the open ocean, where the apex predator reigns, the orca. Intelligent eyes scan the water as the pod works in seamless harmony. They corral a shoal of herring, releasing bubbles to form a shimmering net. The orcas take turns charging through, each strike a lesson in teamwork and strategic precision. Deeper still, the camera glides past the jagged maw of a gulper eel, its mouth wide enough to swallow prey, half its size. Here, patience and elasticity are the keys to survival. Shift to a coral reef, bustling with colour and life. The peacock mantis shrimp stalks its territory. Its eyes, the most complex in the animal kingdom, scan for movement. In a flash, its club-like appendage fires with the speed of a bullet, shattering shells and stunning prey with shockwaves. In the coastal shallows, the camera follows a saltwater crocodile. Its armoured body glides silently, nostrils just above the surface. With a sudden surge, it seizes a fish, jaws snapping shut with bone-crushing force, a reminder that ancient designs can still dominate modern waters. Meanwhile, the camera lingers on the ghostly form of a barrelly fish. Its transparent head reveals eyes that rotate upwards, scanning for silhouettes against the faint glow above, an innovation that turns the darkness into a hunting ground. Across every depth and habitat, aquatic predators have mastered the art of adaptation. From the speed of the black marlin to the patience of the anglerfish, each is a testament to the creative power of evolution. In this liquid world, survival belongs to those who innovate, outwit, and endure, silent titans forever shaping the mysteries of the deep. Above the forests, deserts, and open plains, a different kind of apex hunter rules the skies. Here, gravity is both foe and ally, and every movement is a delicate negotiation with the wind. The camera sweeps across a golden dawn, revealing the silhouette of a peregrine falcon perched atop a windswept cliff. Suddenly it launches into a dive. The stoop. Air rushes past as it tucks its wings, transforming into a living missile. At over 200 miles per hour, it strikes an unsuspecting pigeon mid-flight, talons extended, the impact echoing the raw power and precision of the fastest animal on Earth. Shift to the African savanna, where a martial eagle soars high above the acacia trees. Its piercing vision detects the faintest twitch, an unaware monitor lizard basking on a sunlit rock. With wings spanning nearly 7 feet, the eagle glides silently, then folds its wings and plummets. The lizard never sees the shadow that signals its end, a masterclass in patience, timing, and lethal accuracy. In the Arctic tundra, a snowy owl hovers ghost-like over a snowy field. Its immaculate plumage blends seamlessly with the landscape, rendering it nearly invisible to both prey and rival. With a sudden dip, it plunges feet first into the snow, extracting a lemming with razor-sharp talons. The scene shifts to a bustling rainforest, where a harpy eagle threads through tangled branches. Its immense claws, as large as a grizzly bear's, snatch a howler monkey from the canopy, a testament to the raw strength required to hunt in this vertical world. Night falls, and the camera follows a barn owl gliding in utter silence above a moonlit meadow. Specialized feathers muffle every sound, allowing the owl to hear the faint rustle of a mouse below. It strikes without warning, the hunt completed before the prey ever senses danger. Across continents and climates, aerial predators have evolved a dizzying array of adaptations: ultralight skeletons, keen eyesight, silent wings, and devastating talons. From the coordinated hunting of Harris's hawks in desert packs to the solitary ambushes of the kestrel, each strategy is tailored to the challenges of life in the air. Their ballet is both beautiful and brutal, a daily reminder that in the kingdom above, only the most skilled and adaptable can claim the title of Lord of the Sky. Beneath our feet, and beyond the reach of the naked eye, a hidden battlefield rages, a realm where the hunters are measured in microns, and every second is a struggle for survival. Zooming through a droplet of pond water, the camera reveals a bustling metropolis teeming with life. Here, the single-celled predator, known as the amoeba, glides silently, extending pseudopods to envelop an unsuspecting bacterium. The victim vanishes, digested within a living, shifting fortress. Elsewhere, a paramecium darts through the liquid jungle, propelled by thousands of beating cilia. Suddenly, a predatory didinium appears, barrel-shaped and relentless. It spins rapidly, latching onto the paramecium with a harpoon-like apparatus, and begins to consume its prey whole, the struggle playing out in slow motion under the microscope's unforgiving glare. In the loamy darkness of the soil, nematode worms weave between grains of sand, hunting for even smaller prey. One nematode coils around a rotifer, injecting digestive enzymes and slowly absorbing its nutrients. A silent duel in a world without sound. Shifting to a coral reef's microfilm, the camera reveals the voracious copepod, its appendages snapping outward to snare tiny algae and even other micro-animals. Each captured meal ripples outward, fueling larger creatures and sustaining entire food webs. Even viruses, the ultimate micro-predators, drift unseen. One latches onto a bacterium, injecting genetic material and transforming its host into a viral factory. A silent invasion rewriting the rules of life itself. Though invisible to us, these microscopic marauders are the architects of balance in every ecosystem. Their endless cycles of predation and adaptation drive evolution, recycle nutrients, and form the foundation upon which all visible life depends. In this microscopic world, every drop of water is a battlefield, every grain of soil a hunting ground, reminding us that the most profound dramas of survival are often those we never see.